Good evening. I think it's morning already in Eretz Yisrael, where I'm not. I'm actually in New York. So it looks a little different. Oh, where's the bicycle? Where's the thing on the wall? Yeah, we're in my parents' house in Brooklyn. Excellent. Um, so this week's parsha is one of my favorite parshas because my favorite Dvar Torah is one of my favorite top five maybe. But definitely my favorite Kli Yakar that my son Moshe likes, Tamar likes. We all, have a few favorite ones. This is one of my favorite ones. We know that if you're laning Shabbos, it's tough to find the parsha. Where the heck does vayechi start? There's no break. And there's a lot of Mefarshim talk about this connection that there's Yaakov wanted to reveal when Mashiach's coming, and Hashem stops Yaakov from revealing it. And the question is why? What's the big deal? Tell them when Mashiach's coming. What's wrong with everyone knows? What's the problem? Yeah, it's awesome. We know when it is. And Sfas Emes, famously, who was not a fan of materialism, wasn't a fan of people being wealthy, not giving tzedakah, and saving it for the children, and not really spending it, giving it to the poor people. Did not like that at all. And he says that the end of Vayeshev is the Jewish people, Vayechzuba, Vayirfu, Vayiru Ma'od. They did really well in Beretz Gosh Mitzrayim. They did great. They had made a lot of money, a lot of children, fantastic. The problem was it wasn't Eretz Yisrael. And should they have stayed? Could they have come back? That's maybe for another discussion. But the fact that they did so well, this led Yaakov to, or Hashem, to hold the date of when Mashiach's coming back. Yaakov probably knew what it was. Yaakov knew what it was, but didn't want to tell the children when it was, because we see that the Avos, who knew that Mashiach wasn't coming in their time, they still were searching for God. They still were searching. And if you tell people that they're not going to get something, they'll stop searching for it. And the Bnei Yisrael, who, if you told them when Mashiach's coming, they definitely never would have wanted to leave Mitzrayim. So that's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing to be told everything, not to search for something. To be given something all the time is a dangerous thing. And he talks about that in our generation. He's talking about Poland. He's talking about Prague, the early 1600s, where people had huge houses. And he says it's our sin. I'm saying to Robin, it's our sin that we have these big, huge stone houses, comfortable, and we're not looking for Mashiach. We're not looking for Eretz Yisrael. And I feel this when I'm in New York now, and I'm walking down the streets, and I see these huge houses. You're putting down your roots. Nothing against America. I live there. I go there for work, a family here. But to put your whole life, the more you fix up your house here, it's just difficult to think about Eretz Yisrael and Mashiach. It just is. Towards the end of the parsha, there's a really interesting exchange after the death of Yaakov, and the brothers are freaking out. They're very nervous. They think that perhaps Yosef's going to pay them back for all the things that they did to him, and they're very nervous. They don't even speak to Yosef. They send a messenger. They send messengers. By the way, tell Yosef that we're sorry, forgive. Abdei Avicha, we're your servants, and all these things we did. Please forgive all these bad things that we did. And Yosef cries. And Sfas Emes says this is the difference between Yaakov Yosef and the brothers. Yaakov had rough life. Yosef, rough life. But there's never a bad day. And at the end of his life, Yaakov's in Mitzrayim, the lowest place of Tumah. And Yaakov has his best years. He's with his family, has his best years. And Yosef, who his whole life is opposite of what he thought it would be, what he wanted it to be, doesn't have a bad day in his life. And when he hears that the brother said all this bad that we did, he cries. Because in Yosef's eyes, everything Hashem does is for the good. Everything Hashem does is for the good. Being Mitzrayim, being in jail, having to be with non-Jews his whole life, being without his family, not a bad day in his life, because he knows this is what's supposed to happen. He's supposed to pave the way to start the Golus, pave the way for the Geula, Torah, Eretz Yisrael. All these things are supposed to happen, and in Yosef's eyes, this is fantastic. This is emes. That's Yaakov, is emes. And when the brothers say, all the bad that we did for you, Yosef is crying, just the disappointment that he has. And he says, "Yachshavtem alai ra lakim chashava tova. Manasas kayom hazel chazim rav." No, this is good. You thought it was bad. This is good. This is going to be good. It's good now. It's going to be great. And this is why he cries. And I think it's very apropos, Sfasemes, especially rough outside. You literally can't talk to anybody without talking about corona and antibodies. No matter what shul you go to, masks, no masks, how many antibodies you have. I had it. I'm getting tested fast, overnight, PCR, PCW, whatever the tests are. It's depressing. It's really It's upsetting. Seger, quarantine, flying, not flying, bar mitzvahs, weddings, can't do. It's depressing. It's upsetting. But it's latova. Whatever the reason is, whether we see it in our lifetime, what the purpose of it is, whether we see it or don't see it, it's latova. Shabbat shalom.